The video game industry is infected with activists, whether it's the developers themselves or the people writing articles about the games. And now we're finding out that the ScreenRant Black Myth Wukong situation is only getting more hilarious because the writer, who of course said that it was lacking in diversity and inclusivity, has worked for a PR consultancy firm in the past. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this has definitely been a hilarious saga to watch unfold because ScreenRant has multiple people who clearly edit the articles, read them, and go over them. And they all decided, you know what, we are going to barrel forward with this and publish it. And then this writer, of course, her name is Samar, she decided to highlight in it that she felt the game was lacking in representation and diversity. Of course, that's what we've been saying for years at this point, that journalists and that developers are going down checklists, and sometimes they end up being bullied into making changes. And I definitely think that would have happened here if Game Science was a Western company, because the mainstream media has been attacking this game for years at this point. They've tried at every turn to bury this game, but now we're finding out that Samar has a bit of a conflict of interests. I had actually made a post on X about this, and I started it off by saying the ScreenRant Black Myth Wukong situation only gets crazier. First, they removed Samar's name for her safety, and they can claim safety purposes all they want, but now it's clear as day these companies are weaponizing language and using the word safety as a shield from criticism. She wrote the article, she should stand by the article. There's always going to be unsavory people that exist out there, but ScreenRant hasn't shown even one instance that proves anyone sent her legitimate death threats or real harassment. And of course, threats aren't okay, but they're using the word safety as a reason in which they're hiding her so people can't criticize her. Removing the name of a journalist from a piece that it was already on is ridiculous. They're basically saying, we don't want you to be able to criticize her, so we're gonna hide her. And it seems that the higher ups at ScreenRant told her not to say anything about her review, probably in hopes that this would all die down, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Going to her X really quickly, as you can see, it's just her name. It is not an active account. She made it in 2023. She has not used it since, but she was, as it notes right here, a PR intern at Splendid Communications. Now going back to my post, it says now her LinkedIn is deleted after it's been found out she worked for a PR firm, Splendid Consultancy. Now, I had never heard of them, but when you really start looking into them and what they do, and you look at her ScreenRant description, it all paints a very obvious picture. So this is the description of Splendid Communications. Our purpose is to deliver creative work that makes a positive cultural and commercial impact, from our strategic thinking to the way we generate ideas, work with clients, engage with media, create buzz on social. I think they mean socials, co-create with influencers and connect with the public. Our key challenge is always, how do we connect brands with real people in their real lives to truly make an impact? Being people first, we believe that team diversity enriches our collaborative culture. In our work for clients, we are keen to meet candidates from all backgrounds, so please get in touch with your skills, experience, and attitudes that match ours. So they most certainly are focused on DEI. They are a DEI consultation group, and while they do not directly have to do with the game industry, it sounds like they work with all kinds of companies throughout many different industries, and that is their focus, is DEI, and trying to basically, what they're calling, enrich companies' social media, which sounds extremely cringy, and you have to be a certain type of egotistical person to want to do this or believe that your opinion matters that much. Like, oh, I'm going to be a consultant, because they basically just want respect from people. They want individuals to pay attention to them at any given chance. And of course, her ScreenRant description does again highlight this. She says that she is passionate about creativity and cultural representation within entertainment media and enjoys writing about games that value diversity and inclusivity, which of course she is allowed to do, but we are also allowed to criticize when she puts out a review and a big portion of it is basically whining about how a game doesn't have enough diversity for her tastes, even though we're talking about a story inspired by Journey to the West, which is a 16th century Chinese piece of literature. We're not talking about something that is being adapted for modern audiences, luckily, and that infuriates people like her. And while we know now that she was just an intern and she wasn't someone with a larger position at this company, she clearly knew what they were up to, supported what they were doing and their push for DEI, but she actually deleted her LinkedIn account. She was probably told at the higher-ups at ScreenRant, hey, listen, you're receiving a lot of flack right now, just delete your LinkedIn for a little while, you can reactivate it again at some point. It's just better if people can't see your history, but the internet never forgets, because if you search her name online, there are still some links on websites that mention that she was affiliated with Splendid, like this from Diary Directory. It says she was previously the consumer PR intern at Splendid Communications, and there's also still links to her LinkedIn, because she had only just deleted it, that says things like, during my internship at Splendid Communications, she was on the committee for equality, diversity, and inclusion in the workplace. She even contributed by helping support her line manager with Diversity Matters emails. So it's clear her opinion has not changed since leaving this company, given what she's writing at ScreenRant. And people are now calling ScreenRant out for hiring someone like this, a full-blown activist, but it's not very shocking, at least in my opinion, because all of these outlets are filled with individuals like this. They don't care about video games, whether it's, video games that have come out, ones that are coming out, making the industry better, making companies more money. They simply care about being able to dig their claws into the industry and change it in a way that they've deemed impactful. They want to change things, in my opinion, for the worse when it comes to shoving DEI initiatives into every single project. It's just not how good products are made. And this is someone who never really had, it seems, any passion for games. She simply wanted to insert a diversity narrative into ScreenRant's articles, which is what they hired her to do. It will be interesting to see if ScreenRant makes a statement or follows up that article. I highly doubt it, because they had already removed her name from it and they've been pretty quiet about this situation. But gamers are not going to forget. The internet never forgets, and everyone is roasting ScreenRant and this writer for her awful take. And I don't think that this is going to be the only journalist who blows up because of their awful takes on Wukong. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.